Welcome to Johnson Coliseum for tonight's matchup between the Sam Houston State Bearcats and the Paul Quinn Tigers. And a very pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Tom Franklin. Alongside is Jason Barfield, and we raise the curtain on the 2019-2020 season this evening as your Sam Houston State Bearcats take on Paul Quinn. And Jason, we've got teams who are at the opposite end of the spectrum coming into this ball game. Sam Houston State coming off a conference championship, a 21-12 season. Meanwhile, Paul Quinn had a forgettable 4-24 campaign.
Yeah, when you look at last year, Bearcats Southland Conference champs and really just improved as the season went on. Just 4 wins for Paul Quinn. But you look at this season, Paul Quinn is one of those teams, they know what they have in their basketball team. 4 of their 6 leading scorers are back. Contrast that with the Bearcats. Only Kai Mitchell returns from last year's group of 5 starters, so they really don't know what they have in this team right now.
Let's take a look at our HEB No Player Does More impact players of the ball game. First of all, for the Paul Quinn Tigers, we're going to focus on junior forward Spencer McElway.
Yeah, McElway, a guy played just half the season, 13 games, only started 11, but when he was on the floor, he was good. 14 points, 10 rebounds. He's going to be a guy this year that they're really going to lean on heavily.
And for the Sam Houston State Bearcats, it'll be their lone returning starter, and that is senior forward Kai Mitchell.
Yeah, Kai Mitchell last year made that transition from junior college to the Division I level. That's a tough transition to make. We're going to talk about that a lot this year, and he stepped right in. 12.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and he was really the rock in the paint for the Bearcats, and a big reason why they won a Southland Conference championship last year.
And tonight's starting lineups are presented by Miller Lite, the official beer of the Bearcat Sports Network. And first of all, let's do that again. Tonight's starting lineups presented by Miller Lite, the official beer of the Bearcat Sports Network. And first of all, for the visitors from Paul Quinn, the Tigers lineup will look like this.
Yeah, Marcel Holden will get the start at guard. Holden, a senior, he is out of Bay City. He's joined by D'Angelo Streeter out of Midway, Georgia, via Harker Heights High School. He transferred from Angelo State. Mateo Ashik, a 6'6" forward. He is out of Plano, joined by Bruce Scott, a 6'5" forward out of Houston. He's a freshman. And then Spencer McElway, we talked about him in the open, 6'7" forward. He is a junior out of Little Rock.
And now the Sam Houston State Bearcats will line up this way for the first time under head coach Jason Hooten, starting his 10th year.
Yeah, 4 new starters for the Bearcats. R.J. Smith will get the start at forward. He is a 6'5" junior. He is joined by Chad Bowie. Bowie, 6'2" senior. He is out of Houston, played at Fort Bend Elkins. Zach Nuttall will get the start. 185 pounds, 6'3" sophomore out of Bryan and Bryan High School. Xavier Bryant, 6 foot, 180 pound sophomore out of DeSoto. And then the man we talked about in the open, Kai Mitchell, 6'7" forward out of Haverstraw, New York.
And we're ready for action here. The team's out at the court. Sam Houston State, the home team, in the all whites with the orange and blue trim. The visiting team, Paul Quinn, the Tigers in black and gold. The 2 players we talked about at the start of the game, jump center Mitchell against McElway. And Mitchell controls, and the Bearcats will attack first, moving from left to right. Inside for Mitchell, traveled. Little slide on that pivot step as he tried to reverse and go back the other way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that matchup all night between Mitchell and McElway. Both guys standing at 6'7", so really an even matchup.
Little full court pressure for the Bearcats as Eschig brings it up the floor, lost it at the block, picked it back up again and got it outside. And Paul Quinn with 15 to shoot. And we get a traveling call on Bruce Scott. It was an offensive foul push-off. Little arm bar.
Yeah, he got the elbow out there as he was trying to create a little bit extra space. Good job defensively by the Bearcats, closing that space down quickly.
That's good to see on the first possession. That was something that was a hallmark of last year's Southland Conference regular season championship team. It relied on the defensive end a lot. And another traveling violation, this time called on Xavier Bryant.
Yeah, first game of the season. I think we're going to see a little bit of this. You know, this is the first time for the Bearcats to really get out on the floor in action like this. And so you're probably going to see a little bit early on.
Couple of scrimmages, but it's not the same. Bad inbounds pass from Holden goes right into the arms of R.J. Smith. 3 ball from the right wing, rims in and out, no good for Nuttall. Back the other way come the Tigers. Streeter with the ball. Down on the block for Ashik. He'll take it back outside for Holden. Hold it around the screen, can't get by. Ashik now with it, closely guarded by Bryant. And a traveling violation. Bryant got a hand in there before Ashik could get rid of the ball.
Yeah, that's one of the things Jason Hooten likes to talk about anytime a guy comes into the program. The first thing he always says about a newcomer is they got to learn how to play defense. Well, you've got 5 starters on the floor who've been in this program before. They know what's expected on the defensive end.
And defense is where it all starts. Can lead to a lot of good things offensively. You can shut things down on the defensive end. Minute and a half gone by, still looking for our first points. Here's Mitchell for 3, no good. Skying in for the rebound and the putback, Zach Nuttall. How about that?
Well, that's the athleticism we saw a lot last year, and really looking forward to see what more we're going to get from him this season.
6'3", but he was way above the rim to pull that rebound down. Little jump hook by McElway is no good. The rebound comes down to Bowie, and back the other way come the Bearcats. Bowie going coast to coast for the finger roll. 4-0 Bearcats. Here's Ashik from 3 from the right wing is good. Mateo Ashik, transfer from UTSA. With Paul Quinn on the board, 4-3. 2 minutes, 20 seconds gone by here in the opening period. Jumper from the left wing just inside the arc by Smith is no good. The rebound comes down to Ashik. Now this is Streeter who'll try and set the offense in motion. Double teamed out high. Good cross-court pass. Ashik for 3, left wing, and he's got 2 in a row. First lead of the game for Paul Quinn at 6-4.
R.J. Smith tried to close out. A good quick release, though, from Ashik.
Here's Chad Bowie. Top of the arc for Smith. And now Nuttall. Down low for Mitchell. The 15-footer rims in and out, no good. Ashik will clear. Outlet pass on the sideline for Holden. Offensive foul. Gaining possession and taking the charge, Xavier Bryant.
I think one of the things we've seen early on is the athleticism of this Bearcat team. There's no doubt. This is, look at this 5 out there. All 5 guys very athletic. We've seen the acceleration, the elevation of a Nuttall, and then just defensively, the guys getting out in front and making plays.
Well, Jason Hooten told me in our pregame conversation that this may be a more talented team than last year's team, as the 3 by Bowie is no good, but they don't have the experience of playing together like last year's team had, so many veteran players. 3 from the left wing goes in and out, no good by Streeter. Bearcats back the other way. Bowie off on the wing for Smith, back to Bowie, and now Mitchell at the arc. Inside he went for Nuttall, couldn't control it, taken away down low by Streeter. Streeter passes off to Scott. Scott back to Streeter for 3 from just left of center, no good. Rebound, batted around, still batted around. Who's going to control the basketball? It'll be Chad Bowie in backcourt. Up to the midcourt stripe for Bryant. And the 3 from Nuttall, no good. Oh, flying for the one-handed dunk was Smith and couldn't get it to go. Back outside it goes, and this will be Bryant's 3 is no good. Rebound fought for, put back up by Smith, no good, but he's fouled. Good hustle by the Bearcats, and they will have free throws when play will resume from here at the Johnson Coliseum. Game number 1 of 2019-2020. And Paul Quinn, thanks to a couple of threes from Mateo Ashik, has the early 6-4 advantage.
Hey Bearcats, take your membership on the go by downloading the Sam Houston State University Alumni Cat app today. Not a member yet? Join the Sam Houston Alumni Association or renew in seconds to enjoy exclusive national benefits on dining, entertainment, and much more. Now that you're in, take some time to explore your exclusive member benefits. Read the latest edition of Heritage Magazine or find an alumni event near you. Click on our travel tile to sign up and explore the globe with our traveling Bearcats, or stay connected to alumni in your area as you take your membership everywhere. Come hang out with the Alumni Association as we tailgate some of the biggest games of the year by showing your alumni member card that is now in the palm of your hand. Download the SHSU Alumni Cat app today in the iTunes or Google Play Store, or visit shsu.edu/CatApp. Eat 'em up, Cats.
Back here at Johnson Coliseum, 15:55 to play, opening half. Sam Houston State trailing Paul Quinn by a score of 6-4. R.J. Smith to the line to shoot a pair of free throws as play resumes, and Smith with a chance to tie the ball game. Last season from the stripe, 73% for the junior from Olathe, Kansas, via Oral Roberts. First free throw is good, makes it a 6-5 ball game.
Yeah, and R.J. Smith, a guy that they're really looking forward to see what more they can get out of him. Saw a lot of athleticism, a lot of explosive plays last year. Can he consistently put it together?
Made both free throws, ties the game at 6, and full court pressure for the Bearcats. And Ashik will bring the ball up the floor against Smith. Ashik missed the cutter. Holding out tall, and we get an offensive foul and a shove from Streeter against the good tight defense for the Bearcats.
That's the third one already in this game, and we hadn't even played 5 minutes.
Now checking in at the break, that's DeJuan Jones, number 2, and he carried the ball. Jones, a sophomore, redshirt sophomore from Colleen Ellison. Sat out last year with his redshirt season. Streeter with a fall-away 20-footer, no good. Rebound batted around, will be tracked down in the corner by Nuttall. Quickly ahead for Jones. And now the ball back to Nuttall at the top of the arc. Got a nice screen for an 18-footer in the circle for 2. Nicely executed offense. Nuttall with his second bucket of the ball game puts the Bearcats back on top, 8-6. Easy path to the basket and the finish for D'Angelo Streeter. One of the few times Bearcats haven't contested here. They left an open door and Streeter took advantage. Tie game at 8. Here's Mitchell down left block. Cross-court pass. Bad pass. Intercepted by Streeter. Streeter will go across the floor to the far sideline. Now Cruz. Back outside. Pump fake for Scott. Cruz the 3 from the right corner is good. Joshua Cruz, senior from Georgetown. That's the third 3 ball for the Tigers here in the first half, staking them to the 11-8 advantage. Smith for 3 to answer, can't get it to go. Mitchell fights for the rebound, batted around, he's got it. Brings it back outside to Nuttall in the corner.
A 1-on-5 rebound there.
Off balance 3 is short and cannot be saved, goes out of bounds. That was not the shot that Nuttall should have taken there. We get a substitution here, checking in. Danon Swoop will come in as he comes in for Chad Bowie. And also checking in is Mark Tico Ninko. I'm sorry. I'll get his name right before the season is over. And we get a 5-second violation on the inbounds pass as it was hotly contested by Nuttall. He says, I may have had a bad pass, but I can get the ball back for us with some defense. And that's what you want to see.
And 2 substitutions for the Cats, some guys with some Division I experience, some newcomers on this team.
Swoop with a follow 18-footer with the left hand is good.
Swoop, one of those guys, transfer from Elon, and he's got a lot of Division I experience from Elon.
Has a lot of marks in there. Played 32 games in his junior year. Last year only played the first 5 games before getting injured and missing the rest of the season. Ball rotates around. Ashik will hit his third 3-pointer of the ball game. Mateo Ashik.
He's got the 3 fingers down towards the floor, coming back down the court.
Gonna have to lock that young man down. We get an offensive foul down low. The foul's gonna be on R.J. Smith, running over a defender in the paint.
I think it was Ashik that got tangled up with, and RJ just tried to go right through him to get to position in the paint.
DeMarcus Lampley will make his first appearance from Phoenix City, Alabama via Wallace State. National Junior College All-American a year ago.
Yeah, a guy that could fill up the bucket at the junior college level. 26 points a game.
He's on the defense there against Cruz on the ball. A Sheik from the corner spinning. The floating 10-footer won't go. And the rebound comes down to Jones. Jones quickly ahead in the wing. And it's going to be a travel before Lampley can get the shot away.
Got a little excited for his first Division I attempt.
Well, you know the adrenaline's got to be pumping in these guys. Here's Cruz for three. Joshua Cruz. And that is now 5 3-pointers for Paul Quinn, who's staked them to a 7-point lead, biggest of the night as we approach 7.5 minutes gone by. R.J. Smith flips it off. Swoop. Nice pump fake, and now kicked it outside. Top of the arc. 3 ball is good for DeJuan Jones. And that's the kind of ball movement that Jason Hooten wants to see out of this team. Don't take those first opportunities. Move the ball from side to side. Find yourself a better shot like they did there.
Sometimes that extra pass is all you need.
A Sheik double team down low. Kicks the ball outside for Cruz. Cruz's 10-footer will not go, but he drew a foul. I think it's going to be on Lampley. It will be on DeMarcus Lampley. His first and the second team foul.
Get another look at it here and just a little knock on the wrist.
Cruz is coming over to talk to head coach Brandon Espinosa along with 3 of his teammates and went, excuse me, you got to get back there and shoot. You were the guy who was fouled. Cruz is 73% free throw shooter last year. Hits on the first.
Saw everybody else walking over towards the bench. Just figured he needed to follow.
R.J. Smith will check out, and Terriante Thomas, 6'4" junior from Columbus, Mississippi, from East Mississippi Community College, will check in. Cruz knocks down both free throws. Cruz and Ashik have teamed up for 16 of their 19 points. Three ball for the right wing is good by Mark Tikoninko. Tikoninko from Moscow, Russia, transferred here from North Texas. And that's what he can do, is he can stretch the floor and stretch those defenses and nail 3-pointers. Ashik tied up down low. Got out to Streeter. 10 to shoot now for the Tigers. Bruce Scott. Ashik. Another 3, this one no good. Rebound fought for. Cannot be saved on the baseline by Cruz. We'll stop the clock with 11:12 to play here in the first half. It is Paul Quinn, 19. Your Sam Houston State Bearcats, 16.
As a boy, Lorenzo Baez's playground was the streets. When his grandfather suffered a heart attack, one nurse's act of kindness changed his life. Today, he is the first in his family to graduate college, and he's not done yet. He's on his way to becoming a doctor. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Lorenzo defy the odds. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
We have 11:12 to play here in the opening half at Johnson Coliseum. Paul Quinn, thanks to some stout 3-point shooting, where they are 5 of 8 from behind the arc, have taken an early 19-16 lead over Sam Houston State. Paul Quinn shooting at 50% overall from the field, including that 5 of 8 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Sam Houston State just 6 of 16 and 2 of 8 from long range. Tigoninko misses that time on the 3 from the corner, fighting for the rebound underneath. Good hustle was Terriante Thomas, but when he tried to outlet, there was nobody home on the sideline. Nine minutes gone by here in the first half. Down low, blocked. McElway blocked by the high-flying DeMarcus Lampley. Came from out of nowhere. Lampley feeds in the corner. The 3 ball is no good by Thomas. And back the other way come the Tigers.
Cats just can't find their stroke from long range right now.
This is Bruce Scott from the left corner, no good. Lampley pulls the rebound down, tries to rush down the floor, 2-on-2. Goes right to the basket against Ashik, and Ashik will draw the foul, and we'll have a couple of free throws coming up here for DeMarcus Lampley.
Yeah, you could see really much when he picked up the ball, he knew exactly where he was going to go with it. He was going to attack straight at the basket, was able to get himself to the line.
Lampley averaging 26.6 points per game last year, second overall in junior college. Gets his first point as a Bearcat with that free throw. Marcel Holden will check in as Bruce Scott goes out for the Tigers. Chad Bowie has come back in for DeJuan Jones. Off the back iron, no good, but Lampley runs down his own rebound. Thomas got to the right baseline, too strong with the right hand. Fighting for it underneath and couldn't control was Lampley.
It's the second time we've seen Lampley get in on the offensive glass, though, and he's really active down there.
Just past the halfway mark, 19-17. Paul Quinn flying to the basket, and a blocking foul is going to be called underneath, and Streeter's going to shoot a pair. Blocking foul called on Danon Swoop. Be his first, third against the Bearcats. And Streeter, who has the only other points of the ball game besides Ashik and Cruz, tried to tack on some free throws here. And he'll knock the first one in.
We'll get another look at it.
Yep, didn't get set.
Just sliding over late.
Went up vertical, but was still on the move when he did so. Two for two for D'Angelo Streeter. He's got 4, and that is the lead for Paul Quinn, 21-17. All the way to the basket, and it won't go for Xavier Bryant. Tough drive. Tico Ninko fighting for the rebound, got it out, and we had a traveling call against the Bearcats.
Offensive sequence there by the Cats just looked a little bit out of sync.
It's 8 turnovers so far here in the first half.
Cats have now misfired on their last 4 shots.
Cruz into a double team and back away. Flipped it back to midcourt and cannot be controlled by Holden. The pressure there on the double team coming from Lampley and Swoop, forcing the TO for Paul Quinn.
Paul Quinn doesn't have a field goal over the last 3.5 minutes. Bearcats don't have a field goal over the last 2:20.
Lampley back out top. Bryant with a drive, lost the ball and threw it away in the corner. Looking for Terrion Thomas, and when that ball started coming out of his hands on the drive and went to fire it off in the deep left corner, he never had good control.
Yeah, those turnover numbers are really starting to add up. Now 9 for the Bearcats, and we're just over halfway through the first half here.
This is a team that last year was averaged about a dozen turnovers a game. But again, you were dealing with veteran personnel who had played together for some time. You're still trying to mix the new faces in here on this season.
And a couple of these turnovers have been walks, stuff like that, but you've seen some bad passes, maybe some miscommunications as well.
There's a deep cross-court pass for Shaquille Hoffman. Left it on the baseline for Holden, flipped it back outside, and it's taken away by Bryant. He'll leave it and went right behind the trailer, Zach Nuttall. And another turnover for the Bearcats. Cruz for 3 makes him pay. That is his 3rd three-pointer. He's got 11 to lead all scorers. And right now, Jason Hooten says, I've got to settle my boys down here. 8 minutes and 35 seconds to go here, 24-17. So Jason Hooten needs to settle his boys down and had to call his first timeout. 8:35. 8:35 to play here in the first half. And the turnovers driving Coach Hooten crazy. Had to try and settle his team down. Nuttall drives the basket, got it off the glass for 2 and 1. What a pretty move by Zach Nuttall, and he draws the foul from Spencer McElway.
Yeah, it's the first field goal for the Bearcats in the last 3:21 of this ball game. And it wasn't an easy one either. He had to work for it.
Nuttall with 6 points in the ball game. Sophomore from Bryan. Completes the three-point play.
You know, we talk about the turnovers and the new guys maybe not be in sync with each other, but on that last turnover, it was Bryant Nuttall, two guys that played together a lot in practice. I think that's what got the quick timeout from Jason Hooten. Those guys aren't supposed to make those mistakes.
We get a whistle down low as McElway jockeying for position with Kai Mitchell. Mitchell draws his first, the fourth team foul against Sam Houston State. Hoffman lost the ball trying to drive through on the paint, and away come the Bearcats. Down low, Mitchell with the right hand up and under move. Pretty for Kai Mitchell's first bucket of the year.
Yeah, good look from Bryant there. Saw his man in the paint all alone, able to feed him with the bounce pass.
Now we got a 2-point game with 7:45 left here in the first half. Good defense on the sideline. I think we're going to get a foul this time reaching in. Foul's going to be on Xavier Bryant. As we go to break, the nice lead pass and the finish by Kai Mitchell.
Since 1879, students have come from far and wide to a place unlike any other. A place where tradition runs deep, honor holds special meaning, and orange brings us together. It's a place where friendships are formed and futures take shape. Every day, students discover Sam Houston anew and walk across our stage, united as alumni, united as Bearcats. Join the Alumni Association today.
Take a look at the Sam Houston State huddle, and they're still trying to find the range here at Johnson Coliseum in the opening game of the season. 8 for 22 from the floor overall, and 2 of 10 from long range for head coach Jason Hooten's bunch.
Yeah, and I don't think you can sit here and say that they forced really a lot of those three-point attempts. They've had good looks, good ball movement, freeing some guys up, and you've got it in the hands of the ones you want taking those threes. They're just not falling.
One thing they are doing well is rebounding. A 2-1 advantage there, 13-6 over Paul Quinn so far. Here's Cruz from 20 feet, no good on the right side. The rebound comes down to Lampley, and the quick outlet pass for Bryant. Bryant driving all the way to the basket, scoops it up and in. Xavier Bryant with his first basket of the game. Ties it at 24. The speed of Bryant going from end to end. Here's Cruz, you got to tighten down on him. He's their leading scorer here in the game. Bruce Scott in the lane, an off-balance 8-footer is no good. Rebound battled for and taken down underneath by Chad Bowie. Ahead for Kai Mitchell, got away from the defender and finished it. That wasn't an easy play as the defender was all over him, but Mitchell with great control and spun it in off the glass.
Tough. Caught it in transition, took a bump in the air, and still able to finish.
Bearcats on top by a score of 26-24. It's been a while since they've seen that. Three-point shot is no good from Streeter. And here come the Bearcats again. Nuttall goes behind the back in the lane, rolls it up over the front of the rim.
And I think what you're seeing is the Bearcats attacking the basket more. Ever since that turnover between Nuttall and Bryant, when Hooten called that quick timeout, they've gone to the glass every single possession after that.
And it's forced Brandon Espinoza to use his first time out of the ball game. You see the finish there from Kai Mitchell. 2 buckets on the ball game for Mitchell. Nuttall, meanwhile, with 9 points in the ball game.
And I think Nuttall's a guy that, everybody got excited about last year because you saw the athleticism from him.
Right.
And we're going to see the explosiveness here to the basket. And, it was one of those, he was the guy that you could see last year. He had the potential to take a game over. Last year, he didn't have to. he had the Delaney brothers on the floor
right.
that he was able to defer to. But in spurts, 2 to 3 minute stretches, you could see Nuttall being a guy who could get 6, 7, 8 points in quick succession. This year, they're going to ask him to do a lot more.
Average 6.6 and 3.2 rebounds while playing 17 minutes a game last season. 6:15 to play here, first half. Ashik, who's been cooled off here after a hot start, had his pass tapped right back to him. Triple team in the lane. We're going to get a jump ball or a foul. What are we going to get here?
I think they're going to go jump ball.
We'll go jump ball, and the possession arrow goes to Paul Quinn, so the Tigers will keep it in front court with 16 to shoot.
It's Nuttall and Mitchell in there in the mix.
Streeter, guarded by Bowie, trying to go baseline. Coming over to help out was Mitchell, but we're going to get a foul. It's going to be on Bowie, I believe. And Chad Bowie will pick up his first on the drive by Streeter. And Dante Streeter from Dallas Carter High School, the sophomore, 6'5". Average 8.5 last year for these Paul Quinn Tigers. 4-point lead right now for the Bearcats. Their biggest of the ball game. The free throw is no good.
Yeah, we'll get another look at the foul here. You just see.
Yep, saw him chop the arms.
Chop the arm, had his hand in his back pocket the whole time.
Streeter goes 1 for 2 from the stripe. Get a substitution. We will have a substitution.
That snapped a scoring drought for Paul Quinn of 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Jeremiah Wiley will check in. And out goes Streeter.
Over that stretch, the Bearcats 11-1 run to get in the lead here.
See if they can keep up the offensive execution here. Mitchell on the baseline, goes toward the block, spinning with a right-hand jump hook. Kai Mitchell. And you see the skills that young man brings to this ball club. The patience. Found an area near steal, near midcourt by Bryant. Ball poked loose. Cruz gets it away for Wiley. On the wing for Scott. Now back out to Cruz. 10 to shoot for the Tigers. Deflected, but Scott maintains possession. Almost had it taken away. And on the floor, getting called for the foul is DeMarcus Lampley, and that'll be his second. That was just kind of an unfortunate situation. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time to pick up that foul. There's nothing he did.
Tough break there for Lampley. He went diving, actually got a hand in the passing lane, knocked the ball loose, then found himself just at the feet there and was called for the foul.
He'll go to the sideline probably for the final 5:11 here of the first half, and that'll bring Danon Swoop back in. Bruce Scott, freshman. And spun it around and in after a long tour of the basket.
Get another look at it. Well, he took a knee to the head there, too. As if the foul wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
Kick to the head to boot.
It's a tough game. 2 for 2 for Bruce Scott. 3-point lead for the Bearcats, 30-27 as we approach the 5-minute mark here in the first half at Johnson Coliseum. Here's Nuttall for 3. It's off the mark, no good. The rebound comes down to McElway. A quick outlet pass for Teron Mingo, who has come in. His pass deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tigers with 25 to shoot. Wiley inbounds for McElway. Now to Ashik, closely guarded there by Nuttall. Forcing the ball out of his hands. Mingo. Scott maintains possession for the Tigers on the sideline. Mingo to the basket with an up and under move, couldn't get it to go. The rebound comes out to Bryant. Quick down court pass for Bowie. Bowie on the baseline from 15, rims in and out, no good. Mitchell had the tip, couldn't get it to go. The second tip controlled by Nuttall. Mitchell and Nuttall playing a two-man game. We're getting a foul on the floor here. Jeremiah Wiley.
By the way, that was the 8th offensive rebound already for the Bearcats in this one. Check that 9th offensive rebound.
Zach Nuttall at the free throw line for the second time. 2 for 2 here as he goes into double figures with 10 points to lead the Bearcats. Joshua Cruz's 11 leads all scores. And Nuttall makes them both. Lead up to 5, 32-27. 4:10 left here in the first half. Bowie all over Wiley as they come up the floor. Pass on the wing for Mingo. Mingo a path to the basket, kicks it out. Getting a foul down low after Mingo passed the ball away. Going to be on Nuttall.
3 bodies hitting the floor there simultaneously. We could feel it over here.
Stops the clock, just under 4 minutes to go. 3:58 left, and it's a 5-point lead for your Sam Houston State Bearcats. 3 minutes, 58 seconds to play first half here at Johnson Coliseum tonight. Sam Houston State on top of Paul Quinn by a score of 32-27, leading the way for the Bearcats thus far. Zach Nuttall with 11 points in the ball game, followed by Kai Mitchell 6. Joshua Cruz has 11, and Mateo Ashik with 9 for Paul Quinn.
I think one of the things you've seen from the Bearcats over the last about 5 minutes or so is they've really gotten a lot more active defensively. They've closed down those passing lanes, and they're not allowing Paul Quinn really anything easy. Tigers don't have a field goal over the last 4:40 of this ball game. Everything they've been able to get has been at the line.
Teron Mingo makes the first of 2 and give him 2 for 2 for the stripe. Narrows the lead down to 3. 3:55 left as Swoop will take it up the floor. Top of the circle for Smith. Now left wing for Bowie. Backdoor for Smith. Got it underneath, couldn't get a shot away. Now turns, an 8-footer is no good, but Mitchell is there for the putback, no good. Tip back up, no good. Fighting underneath once again with Smith, and it wouldn't go. And here comes a Sheik for Paul Quinn. Wiley will take a 3 left wing, no good. Rebound tapped and controlled by Smith. Now Swoop try and run the floor for the Bearcats. Swoop got himself in the lane on the baseline. The jumper from 12 is good from Zach Nuttall. 13 now for the sophomore.
He just looks confident out there right now shooting.
Like he's on the playground right now, just working out his game by himself. It's all going.
Always looks like he's on a playground.
Here's Wiley out between the circles. We get a foul down low, bodying for position. Ashik was bodying up with Bowie, who's going to get the foul. Bowie's second personal. Bearcats are over the limit. That's their 9th team foul.
And the Cats are doing a good job rebounding. They've out-rebounded them 21-8, 10 on the offensive glass. They've only turned those 10 offensive rebounds, though, into 6 points. An area I'm sure Jason Hooten would like to see cleaned up a little bit. Yes, you're getting the second chances, but you're not converting them.
Sheik's first trip to the line tonight. And he makes a pair to go to 11 points and tie himself with Cruz for team lead. Deficit is back to 3 for the Tigers. Trying to change that was Lampley with a 3 that rimmed in and out. The rebound bats out to the far sideline. Nuttall. Now Mitchell from the left elbow. Nice turnaround jumper for Kai Mitchell with 8. 36-31. D'Angelo Streeter trying to drive the lane, lost the ball, was picked up underneath, and a nice reverse flip by Spencer McElway for his first points. That was a fortuitous bounce. McElway with a nice finish. 2 minutes left here in the first half. Little jump hook from Mitchell, and now they're getting the big man going. He's got 10 all of a sudden.
Oh, what a feed from Nuttall. Just a little head fake, got his defender off his feet, and then just whipped a pass in.
Oh, reaching it was Mitchell, and they're going to call him for a foul. He almost had the steal on Holden. Instead, Kyle pick up his second foul and the 10th team foul against the Bearcats. It'll be 2 free throws for Marcel Holden. And Mitchell will have a seat for the final 145.
Not even waiting for the substitution.
Nope.
He was going ahead and heading over there.
Well, it's 2-shot foul, so it's not going to matter here on the first one. They can substitute with only. Well, they had to send him back out here. Now they'll substitute for him. And it'll be Terrion Thomas. It's Terriante Thomas to come back in. That was funny, though. He just went right to the bench. He said, I know it's my second foul. I know I'm sitting down for the final 145.
That's funny. The official was in his ear explaining to him, and he was shaking his head. He knew.
Yeah.
He understands, but he was ready to get to the bench.
1 out of 2 for Holden from the line. It's a 4-point lead for the Bearcats. Ball circulates to the far sideline for Bowie. And now Swoop. Swoop goes to the right corner. Out for Smith. Smith from the right elbow. Yes! First field goal for R.J. Smith. Get a delay of game warning here? I think so.
Yeah, it looked like they may have pointed at Nuttall there.
Yeah, I want to say he probably took the ball out of the net and didn't flip it to the official or leave it there on the baseline, one or the other. First game of the season, you want to make sure everybody follows the rules for later on. Pull-up jumper on the right baseline is good by Teron Mingo. His first field goal. He's got 4 points. It's 40-34, 6-point lead for the Bearcats with a minute to go here in the first half.
Good crossover there. Got Swope going the wrong direction. Able to finish it with the jumper.
Nice backdoor pass for Smith with a 2-hand jam on the pass from Chad Bowie. Pretty give and go right there. They scored early enough to where they're going to get a 2-for-1 here before halftime if they can limit Paul Quinn to 1 shot. Don't give up a second chance point here. Here's a Sheik step back 3. Good. Wow. Boy, does he have the hot hand tonight. 4th three-pointer, 14 points.
He was feeling it early on. Hadn't seen that in a while. He had a run of 3 in a row for him early in the game.
Down to 10 seconds. Jason Newton calls the play from the bench. Down to 4. Nuttall, left wing 3. Off the iron, no good. The follow wouldn't go for Smith. Pretty good execution on the play, just couldn't get the ball through the hoop at the very end. But after a slow start, the Bearcats come roaring back and will take a 42-39 lead into the locker room here at halftime at Johnson Coliseum in Huntsville. We'll come back with our halftime activities following this timeout.
The proud son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
And we bring you back to the Johnson Coliseum. Halftime here at Johnson Coliseum. Tom Franklin and Jason Barfield with you, where your Bearcats lead Paul Quinn 42-39 in the opening game of this 2019-2020 season. It's time now to take a look at the CHI St. Luke's Health Emergency Center upcoming schedule for the visiting Paul Quinn Tigers. They'll be off for a week. Next Tuesday, they'll go to Alcorn State, follow that up the following night by a trip to Nichols. Then on the 18th, they'll be at Texas Wesleyan and host LSU Alexandria, and then finishing with a road game on November the 30th at Henderson State.
Yeah, not an easy trip there. Alcorn at Nichols, back-to-back nights. I don't know if you've made that trip from
I have
Alcorn
not, fortunately.
I've never made it for you either. There's not one I want to do on back-to-back nights.
But that's the look at the Paul Quinn upcoming schedule. That's the CHI St. Luke's Emergency Healthcare Center, official emergency center of your Bearcat Sports Network. We'll take a look at what's coming up next for the Sam Houston State Bearcats in just a moment. 42-39, Sam Houston State on top at the break.
I enjoy seeing kids, regardless of their age, see the light bulb go on and they have that aha moment. In 1997, I started Tomorrow's Promise, the Montessori School of Huntsville, with 3 students. The Small Business Development Center helped me with classes on how to open a business.
We also helped Kay market through social media, website analysis, and develop funding opportunities.
We have grown to 38 teachers and over 220 students.
And back here at halftime, Johnson Coliseum, 42-39. Sam Houston State on top of Paul Quinn. Time now to take a look at the CHI St. Luke's Health Emergency Center upcoming schedule for your Sam Houston State Bearcats. A lot of road games this month. On Friday night, they'll be at Mississippi State. The following Saturday, the 16th, at Central Michigan. Coming home on the 20th to play LeTourneau here at Johnson Coliseum before finishing the month of November on the road on a West Coast trip. The 23rd and 26th at San Francisco and Cal State Bakersfield, respectively.
Yeah, and this is the kind of schedule that you typically see. You're not going to get a lot of home games, especially not a lot of Division I home games early on in the season. So you go out on the road, you test yourself against a team like Mississippi State. We saw it last year. The Bearcats went out, they played Georgia, they played Clemson, and really held their own well in those 2 games. And I think early on you got a chance to see what last year's team could become. And they talked about it later in the year, that those games really helped make them who they were. So when you look at this upcoming schedule, Mississippi State, SEC school, Friday night, it's going to be a big atmosphere there for them to step into. Going to Central Michigan, a mid-major team that really you probably feel like you can probably go and play with. Same thing at San Francisco, at CSU Bakersfield. So I think it's a good job by Jason Hooten of scheduling. You get you an SEC school, you get you a team that's just really going to challenge you athletically, and then you get some good mid-majors on the road that are going to be really comparable to probably what you're going to see in Southland play, and see if you can test yourself early in the year on the road against some light competition.
And another thing that road games will do for you early in the season, especially with a new team like you've got here with not as many returning players, is you start to build chemistry because you spend time with each other all the time. You know, you're on the road. Obviously, you will have study sessions where you got to get your classroom work done, but you're not going to class and walking around campus and stuff. You're all staying in the same place under the same roof, and you get to build a chemistry. And so some of these new guys are going to start to blend and figure each other out a little bit better along the way.
Yeah, and one of the things with this schedule, you know, it is a little bit of a different schedule for the Bearcats this year. Conference play starts much earlier this season, December 18th. They have Northwestern State, so you don't have as much time to get together for conference play as you have had in the past.
And that's your CHI St. Luke's Health Emergency Center look at the Sam Houston State Bearcats' upcoming schedules. St. Luke's Emergency Health Center is the official emergency health center of Bearcat Sports. We'll take a look at first half highlights and statistics right after this timeout.
Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home was established in September of 2003. Our partnership with the Small Business Development Center is just like our partnership with other vendors in our community.
We developed a marketing plan, a strategic analysis, as well as social media presence.
If you let them, they can take your dream, put it to paper. That's the way we got started, and 13 years later, we're very happy to be a part of this community.
And we continue with halftime here at the Johnson Coliseum, 42-39. Sam Houston State on top of Paul Quinn. Let's take a look back and see how some of the first half developed over the course of this ball game. Early, the high-flying Zach Nuttall with a putback basket for the Bearcats, countered by a 3-ball from Ashik from Paul Quinn. And then attacking the basket was Streeter, then more Zach Nuttall, this time from inside the circle. Another 3 from the outside, Joshua Cruz.
And the 3 was big for them early in the game.
They kind of took that away from them in the final 8 minutes. As you start to see here, Sam Houston State attack. In the final 8 minutes, they went from shooting at a low percentage. They were 9 of 16 to finish the first half, and it all came from inside the arc.
Yeah, they just changed what they were doing in that first half and attacked the glass a lot more offensively.
So that's a look at the first half. Leading scores here for Sam Houston State. Zach Nuttall with 13, 14 points for Ashik leads the way for Paul Quinn. We'll start the second half after this timeout.
Third-generation Bearcat Tacey Webb roped her way to a national championship through her hard work and fearless dedication. Trading her saddle for nursing scrubs, Tacey set her sights in another arena, a place where she can champion the needs of others. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Tacey reach their championship potential. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
And teams taking the floor for the second half here at Johnson Coliseum, 42-39. Sam Houston State on top. And the Bearcats will have the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, Tom, we were taking a look at those highlights and we talked about the change in the Bearcats' approach in that half as they went to the glass more, attacked the basket, and you see it in the stat sheet. 22 points in the paint for the Bearcats compared to just 4 for Paul Quinn. Every time Paul Quinn was getting into the paint, trying to attack the glass, the Cats had defenders in their face, whether it was Kai Mitchell or whether it was Nuttall or one of the guards. There was always somebody in their face. They didn't find life easy in the paint, whereas the Bearcats really found that as an area they could exploit.
When the three ball wasn't popping, they were 2 of 11, and they only attempted 2 3-pointers in the final 8 minutes while going 9 of 16 overall. To come from behind and take the lead as we get started. Xavier Bryant feeds down low for Mitchell, backing his way in. Right-hander is good. Strong right-hander over McElway. Those are 2 big bodies going at each other. And all of a sudden, Mitchell's got a dozen points here.
He made that look a lot easier than it was. That was a tough shot.
Streeter, reach-in foul on Chad Bowie, and that's going to be his 3rd.
But even after that, after the whistle, Kai wasn't giving up anything easy down low. It was several seconds after. He's still challenging every attempt on basket.
Inbounds pass deflected away by Bowie, and he'll coast his way to the basket for the easy layup. 4 quick points for the Bearcats, and it's 46-39, almost a steal in the backcourt. Ashik flips it ahead for Holden. Holden will pull up. His 3 is no good. Smith will take the rebound down for the Bearcats, and away they come the other way. Nuttall just inside the arc from 18 is no good. Mitchell had the rebound, ball got taken out of his hands, and Scott will clear for the Tigers. Offensive foul, D'Angelo Streeter. And how about that from Xavier Bryant? He took quite a shot there, went reaching for his chin while he was on the deck.
Well, if you want to find yourself on the floor this season for Jason Hooten, you got to be able to make plays like that. We saw it early in the game for the Bearcats, 3 times drawing fouls, and Bryant quickly steps right in front. Get a good look at it right there of him drawing that foul.
Jason Newton going to let Bowie stay on the floor with those 3 fouls. Here's Mitchell off the right block. Nice cross-court pass for Nuttall, going baseline with a right hand. $15 points now for Zach Nuttall. He leads all scorers. The lead is growing to 9. Tough defense on the outside against Streeter, and Bowie is there. Long down court pass. Spinning to the basket with the right hand, Xavier Bryant. Wow. He saw the defender Mingo come flying through and just spun right around him to the basket.
Think Jason Hooten might let Bowie suit up for the football team?
A traveling violation on the far side against Scott. And that's going to force an early timeout from Brandon Espinosa. 18-10 to play here in the ball game. And suddenly the Bearcats have roared out to an 11-point lead at 50-39. Not sure what the halftime speech was from Jason Hooten, but whatever it was, it worked because the Bearcats come out with an 8-0 run to start the second half. And just like that, they're on top by 11 here at 50-39 with 18-10 to play.
Yeah, they just came out aggressive. They're creating plays on the defensive side, and they're turning defense into offense, which is exactly what he wants to see.
Smith will inbound in the backcourt. And Bryant will take it up the floor, working his way against Mingo.
Bowie staying out there, by the way, with those 3 fouls.
Here's Nuttall. Looking for some room, can't find any. Back outside it goes, and now here's Bowie. Return pass to Kai Mitchell. What a great looking finish. My goodness. Super assist from Xavier Bryant. And now it's a 10-0 run. Ashik trying to work his way around Nuttall, is trying to do it on both ends of the floor, and there's a steal by Bowie. Bowie lost it, lost his footing, and it went out of bounds as he went toward the baseline.
And a smile from Jason Hooten over there on the bench.
But that's the hustle.
He's applauding Bowie, and I think this is what he wants to see. He's letting him play with 3 fouls to see how he handles it. He's still playing aggressively, but he's playing it clean right now too.
You can play with 3 fouls early in the second half as long as you play smart. And Chad Bowie, the senior from Elkins High School in Houston, is showing you that. McElway fought his way through a double team, tried to put back, no good, flying for the rebound and taking it down. Who? Chad Bowie. Bryant lobs it up. It was deflected away by Ashik. It should stay with the Bearcats. Oh, that's got to stay with the Bearcats. It went off Ashik's hands.
Yeah, I think they're going to correct it.
There you go. Thank you very much. Trail official saw that.
That's why you got 3 on the floor.
And they're in different spots on the floor, so they get different angles at plays like that. And the trail official had the perfect look.
Yeah, we'll get a look at it here.
You can see the touch right there.
Definite. If he doesn't get a finger on it, that's a highlight dunk for R.J. Smith.
Speaking of, Smith gives it up to Nuttall. Down low for Mitchell. Left hand finish.
Boy, that is great recognition from Nuttall. He whipped that pass in before Mitchell had come around the backside defender.
Yeah, it's like a quarterback in football throwing the pass before the receiver makes his break. You know, say he's running a little out pattern. You throw it to where you think he's going to be. His ball deflected out of bounds with the quick hands of Bowie.
I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed here in the start of the second half with Bowie. Both defensively, he's been on the glass. He's made some plays offensively.
I just think the energy level of this team is up from what we saw for most of the first half.
And now he's going to get a seat. And I think he gave a good couple of minutes to Jason Hooten, and he showed his coach what he can do when playing like that.
So if you get to this kind of situation against Mississippi State on Friday night, we said, Chad, go ahead and play. We know you can do it. And here comes Bryant all the way down the floor. Too hard off the glass, but Mitchell is there to clean it up. And Kai Mitchell's got 18.
Boy, really just imposing himself down low right now.
DeJuan Jones will come in at the next dead ball timeout. Lampley with the tight guard against Mingo as 3 faces 3. Mingo through the lane, scoops it up, no good, too hard. Rebound to R.J. Smith. Smith around Mingo, taps it forward for Lampley. Mitchell, backdoor pass for Smith, had it knocked out of his hands. Loose ball, scooped up underneath by Bruce Scott. Scott ahead for Streeter. And now for McElway, missed the floater. Rebound to Mitchell. And ahead quickly for Nuttall. Left corner 3, Bryant, yes! Nuttall could have taken that, but he knew the best play was to pass off to the wide open Bryant, who finished it off for 3.
And I don't know that you see that last year from Nuttall.
And again, one and done, quickly ahead it goes. And Lampley gets fouled hard going to the basket. 15-13 to play, and the Bearcats have blown this game open. It's a 20-point lead. Paul Quinn still looking for their first points here in the second half.
Three, 2, 1.
Back here at Johnson Coliseum, where Sam Houston State has just blown this game wide open to start the second half with a 17-0 run over Paul Quinn. It's now a 59-39 ball game.
Yeah, you see the fans standing. They tell them at the beginning of each half, stay on your feet until the other team scores. They're still on their feet.
They're still on their feet. with 4 minutes and 47 seconds gone by. So DeMarcus Lampley will go to the free throw line. Lampley 1 of 2 from the stripe in the first half for his only point of the ball game. Now 2 for 3, and missed free throws is something that does not happen very often for DeMarcus Lampley. Last year, just a tick under 90% from the free throw line.
A lot of things to like about him. You know, we talk about the transition from junior college to Division I level, and he's a guy that the Bearcats hope can quickly acclimate himself to this style of basketball.
They're not worried about what he does on the offensive end. If he can hold his own on the defensive end, he's going to see a lot of minutes. Here's Ashik. His three is no good. And the rebound comes down to Mitchell. And the goose egg continues for Paul Quinn. Nuttall off the screen. .15 to shoot. They find Thomas at the free throw line, no good. The rebound is taken down by Streeter and a foul underneath. Foul was on Paul Quinn, and it was on Kevin Baker, who's making his first appearance.
Just got an arm hooked around Kai Mitchell, I think, down in the paint.
Inbounds, it comes to Thomas, back outside it swings. Here's a three from Lampley, a little short. Rebound, Mitchell tried to save it, could not.
I think he threw it off of his own knee as he was flying out of bounds.
Tico Nico will check in and give Mitchell a well-deserved break. Kai with 8 points here in the second half, 8 of his 18.
Now all your 5 starters are now off the floor for the Bearcats.
And that's what rolling off 19 points in a row will do to start the half. Ashik will drive to the basket, put it up with the right hand, no good, but a foul on the way through the bodies. It's going to be on Terriante Thomas, his first. And so Mateo Ashik, 2 for 2 from the stripe in the first half as part of his 14 points. Make it 3 for 3.
That snaps a 19-0 run for the Bearcats.
Called it on Thomas with the body on the way by. I thought there was more of a reach-in on Jones than there was on Thomas.
Certainly looked that way.
2 free throws for Ashik. He's got 16 to lead the Tigers, but the Tigers are down by 20 with 14:10 to play here in the ball game. Thomas back out. Jones's three is good from the right wing. DeJuan Jones with his first 3 ball has 6.
Guy who redshirted last season, did not play. You know, he was ready to get back out on the floor for some real basketball.
Pull up from the free throw line is no good by Streeter. Trying to fly in for the rebound was Cruz, but he couldn't get it before stepping on the baseline. We'll go back to Sam Houston State. Speaking of red shirts, looks like Jason Hooten will have 3 young freshmen taking a back seat this year.
Yeah, some guys he just wants to give a chance to develop.
Another 3 ball, this time is no good by Jones. Rebound batted around, taken down by Thomas. He'll put it back in. Terriante Thomas with his first points of the night. And now everybody who has set foot on the floor has scored. He was the only one who hadn't gotten himself into the score column. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers on the sideline. Miscommunication there between Cruz and Ashik. Another turnover for Paul Quinn. They go quickly down the floor. Nice pass in the lane and dish out on the wing. The 3 ball by Lampley is no good. Boy, everything was right except the finish. Here's Cruz from 3, right wing. That's no good. Long rebound comes back out to Streeter. He'll attack Tico Ninko and couldn't get it to go. Swoop Ahead for Jones. Tico Ninko, he's got his second three of the night.
It's one thing they like about him. The big man can play inside, outside, and can be very versatile.
Not as big at 6'10" as Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks, but a little similar in the style of play that he brings to the floor. You know, Dirk wasn't a big inside banger. He did his damage from mid-range and beyond. Here's Cruz with a floating 10-footer way off the mark, and the rebound comes down to Lampley. Lampley will leave on the sideline for Jones. 12 minutes to play. Tico Ninko will kick it back out. Lampley can't get the three ball to fall, and Thomas couldn't quite get there for the rebound. Under 12 to play now. Streeter on the wing. The shot is no good by Baker. And we get a backcourt foul on Teron Mingo as he takes DeJuan Jones to the floor. First foul for Mingo will bring us to an official's timeout. We have 11:44 to play, and it has been all Bearcats here in the second half. 11:44 to play here at Johnson Coliseum. Sam Houston State all over Paul Quinn, 69-41. And it's all come here in the second half, where the Bearcats have outscored the Tigers 27-2 in the first 8 minutes and 16 seconds. 27-2. You heard me right. Just amazing. Shooting 11 of 19 here in the second half. And owning the backboards 36-13. Bearcats attacking, moving right to left here in the second half. Swoop in the corner for Lampley. The kick out for Jones. Swoop for three. Nice stroke there for DeMarcus Swoop. His first field goal of the night, a three-pointer, gives him 6. And we get a travel on the pass by Jeremiah Wiley. It's the third time these two teams have met, all 3 times coming here at Johnson Coliseum. And in the first half, you thought it might be reminiscent of the second meeting in 2011, when the Bearcats won 66-54. The first meeting, however, came back in 2005, and the Bearcats were 124-70 winners. And the second half is reminiscent of that game.
I think we're going to fall somewhere in between those two.
And another three for Lampley. He's up to 9 points. Showing you how he scored nearly 27 a game last year to be the second leading junior college scorer in the nation. 10.5 to go, 75-51. Still just 2 points here in the second half for Paul Quinn. Mingo, a step back 18-footer. In and out, no good. Tico Ninko with the rebound. Lampley, he's feeling it, but he got covered up that time by Hoffman, so he wisely didn't take the shot. Thomas back outside for Jones. Baseline jumper, Lampley no good. Back the other way come the Tigers. Up and under move for Kevin Baker for 2 and 1. And the foul on Dane Swoop, his second.
First field goal here of the second half for Paul Quinn.
The only points had been Ashik's 2 free throws. Lampley will have a seat. Back in comes Chad Bowie.
For a defensive coach like Jason Hooten, when you can keep your opponent without a field goal for 10 minutes to start a half, you got to like the effort. I think the big thing, though, that he's going to take away from this is even after the starting 5 came out of the game and he put reserves in, there was no drop-off.
There was no drop-off, exactly. And the three-point play is completed by Kevin Baker. 75-44 as we're under 10 minutes to play here. Bowie for Nuttall. Swoop back to Bowie. High post for Thomas, double teamed. Backdoor pass is deflected. Loose ball picked up and goes into the hands of Tico Ninko, and he'll finish it off for a two-pointer, and he's got 8.
That's when you know things are going your way tonight.
But part of that is because of the hustle. You know, if you don't hustle, you don't make plays like that. Here's Streeter way out high with 10 to shoot. Pass intercepted nicely by Nuttall. Dribbled it off his foot, picked up by Mingo. Mingo for Streeter for 3, short. Rebound comes down, and Thomas will give it up, and Swoop will run the offense. Play getting just a little bit choppy on both ends. Free throw line jumper was in and out, no good by Tico Ninko. Baseline drive and the finish for Kevin Baker, who didn't see any minutes in the first half, has come off the bench for 5 here in the second. He's got 5 of their 7.
We finally get a little bit of offense going, a couple of field goals, and Jason Hooten now hands on his hips.
Tico Ninko to the basket for 2 and 1 with a finger roll. Shaquille Hoffman picks up his first foul. Thomas will sit down. R.J. Smith will come back in. Mitchell's going to come back in.
And a good spell for those guys.
But then, as you mentioned, Jason Hooten seeing play become just a little bit erratic. So I'm going to put my big guys out there and settle this back down again. Tico Ninko couldn't finish the three-point play as he missed with the free throw. Stays 79-46 with 8:10 to play. Streeter for 3, contested by Nuttall. Bowie had the rebound slapped out of his hands. The finish by McElway wouldn't go. Baker throws it out, and it's stolen by Bowie. Bowie will leave it for Nuttall, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Bowie tried to slow his momentum, but an offensive foul as Streeter hung in there for the charge, and Bowie picks up his 4th. 7:49 to play. It's been all Bearcats here in the second half as they lead by 33. 7 minutes, 49 seconds to play. Sam Houston State by 33 over Paul Quinn. The Bearcats have just dominated the second half here, taking a 3-point halftime advantage and adding 30 points onto that, outscoring Paul Quinn 37-7 here in the second half. Leading scores for the Bearcats, 18 for Kai Mitchell, 15 for Zach Nuttall, 10 points for Mark Tico Ninko. Those are the 3 players in double figures. Joshua Cruz, 11 points for Paul Quinn, all in the first half. Mateo Ashik has 16, all but 2 here came in the first half. They are the players in double figures and dominating scoring for the Tigers. Tigers have the ball. Streeter trying to get around Nuttall. A floater with the right hand won't go, and Nuttall will clear the rebound. Ahead for R.J. Smith. 1 foot skidded out, but he kept the pivot foot handy. Here's Mitchell. Nice dish in the corner for Chad Bowie. The 3 is no good. Rebound. Nuttall tipped the rebound to Smith. Smith with a pump fake and a finish and 1. Great move by R.J. Smith and a strong move by Smith.
Nuttall very active on the glass on both ends here. You know, he had 5 rebounds at the half, was joint lead with Kai Mitchell. Those 2 rebounds right there were his first 2 rebounds of the second half.
Mitchell with 8 rebounds. Lampley has 7 off the bench. Smith cannot complete the 3-point play. His first miss in 3 free throw attempts on the ball game. He'll stay with 8 points, and it remains an 81-46 game with 7:10 left. Mingo to Baker. Holden, guarded by Nuttall. Holden gets around, influenced by Mitchell, and away come the Bearcats. Nuttall's pass got deflected back to him, to Mitchell with the left hand, too strong, but the finish by Chad Bowie. Bowie has 6 now, and it's 83-46.
Well, I just like everything he's doing tonight.
Baker leaves it back for Holden. Holden double teamed on the baseline. Last touch, they say, by the Bearcats. So we get a foul on a reach-in. It's going to be a foul call. The bodies were all in front of me, and I couldn't see the ball.
Yeah, I think they're getting Nuttall. Nuttall and R.J. Smith were both right there in the area.
And it is Nuttall who gets the whistle, his second. Swoop will check out, as will Nuttall. Lampley comes in, and Bryant comes in. Tried to get it in the lane for McElway, and ball slapped away. Give and go for Smith. He missed the flying dunk, but I think we're going to get a foul called on Baker, challenging the dunk. That'll be his third personal.
Yeah, the Bearcats have had a couple of opportunities to really get out in transition. They've kind of bumbled that pass a little bit, and that's the first one I think they've played really clean.
Smith short with a free throw, so after making 2 in the first half, he's missed 2 here in the second half. Watch Baker get in there from behind.
Yeah, just a little hack down on the back of the hand.
1 out of 2 for Smith. He's got 9, trying to become the 4th Bearcat in double figures. 84-46. Well, the Bearcats have already equaled their first half output with 6:05 to play here in the second half. They got 42 at the break, and they've got 42 more here in the second half. Xavier Bryant picks up the foul with a challenge out away from the basket. Jason Hooten will not be pleased with that. 6-team foul, so the next time it'll be free throws for Paul Quinn. Holden looking to inbound for somebody. Finds Streeter near the midcourt stripe. 6 to go. Double team, and he stepped. No, he didn't. Getting into the perimeter was Ty
Same thing
Mitchell.
They called Nuttall for a moment ago.
Yeah. So the player has a perpendicular area that you cannot get into.
And I think that's one of those calls you see a lot more early in the year just to kind of establish
I would
that
agree.
rule.
Free throw by Streeter is good. Yeah, a little conversation underneath between Smith and Baker. You get a double technical here?
I believe so. And I don't know if we have it, but after the free throw, both guys stepped into the paint, kind of got tangled with each other. A little bit of hand fighting, and then they just kind of went nose to nose.
The officials go over the scores table across the way and explain things here. Meanwhile, Smith will check out, and we'll see the first appearance of Cyrus Johnson, a redshirt freshman from Culver City, California.
Get a look at it here. The two arms locked up. Little swipe.
Yeah.
A little bit said.
A little nose to nose.
Throwing the head in there a little bit. Officials getting together and talking still about this. I'll be curious to see if they go to the monitor and maybe look and see if a headbutt might have been in there.
Which could make it more than just a double technical.
It would. They're just clarifying the numbers. I think Jason Hooten's asking if they'll take a look.
Yeah, R.J. Smith and Kevin Baker, and if they're technical fouls, they also become personal fouls.
Yes, it's a double technicals.
So that's 4 on Baker now, and R.J. Smith picks up his second. So we go back to the free throw line to finish the free throw attempts from Streeter. And this one is short. Rebound comes down to McElway. Back out for Holden. Blocked by the flying DeMarcus Lampley. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
Right in front of the student section here, and you can hear them. They enjoyed that.
Holden trying to go backdoor lob for McElway. Knocked away and comes in to Mitchell. Down the floor it goes for Bowie. He'll pull up for 3. Yes. Chad Bowie with 9. 87-47, a 40-point lead for the Bearcats. Spinning is Streeter. Got it down low and a push from behind.
I believe they got Lampley down low on the bump there.
Be his third. Mitchell will check out. Tico Ninko will check in. Also checking out will be Chad Bowie. And DeJuan Jones will come in for the Bearcats. 5:36 to go, 40-point game. And Spencer McElway, the guy we previewed at the start of the ball game, has been very, very silent as he misses the free throw there.
Yeah, just 2 points tonight for McElway.
Bryant back outside for Lampley. A little crisscrossing action, Jones. Bryant off a screen, kicks it off on the wing, back to the top. The step-in 18-footer is good by DeMarcus Lampley. And suddenly Lampley, who was quiet for most of the ball game, has 11 points.
Lampley, a guy who shot 46% from three-point range at the junior college level. You know he's got that in him.
We're under 5 to go. Holden on the baseline, traveled. Another turnover for Paul Quinn. That's going to bring Jeremiah Wiley back in off the bench for Marcel Holden.
A good ball movement from the Bearcats, working it into the paint, kicking it back out, swinging it around, finding the opening from Lampley there, and he buries down the mid-range jumper.
That is something that Jason Hooten stresses with his offense. He likes reversals, one side of the floor to the other, inside, back out again. He likes to do it more than once before getting a shot off. Here's a three from the corner by Johnson, no good. The follow by Tico Ninko is no good. Johnson will put it in. Cyrus Johnson with his first points as a Bearcat, coming with 4.5 to play in the game.
And you want to talk about a play that'll show up on tape afterwards? It's that hustle after the miss to come back and get the second chance.
Nice little floater, won't fall, however, for Mingo. We get a foul on the rebound, taken down by Johnson. That's right there. There goes Johnson with the follow on the miss by Tico Ninko and the finish.
You know that feels good for him to get anytime you get your first bucket as a collegiate basketball player, guy who sat and watched last season, getting his first chances this year.
Front end of the 1-on-1 went halfway in and came back out. So it stays 91-47 as we approach 4 minutes to play in the game. Wiley gave it off now for Dante Stearns, who's making his first appearance. Loose ball thrown back in. Paul Quinn winds up with it in the person of Bruce Scott. He'll go cross court for Wiley. He'll take the three from the right sideline, no good. And the rebound comes down to Lampley. Approaching 3.5 left. There's the switch to Lampley. Now where do they go with the ball? Tico Ninko trying to back his way in, got a bit of a mismatch. He'll go cross court on the baseline for Johnson. Lost it going up, but recovered. The reverse is no good by Lampley. The ball finally winds up in the arms of Joshua Cruz. He'll pull up for three, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds, maybe off of Bearcat. It may have gone off of Tico Ninko's leg. It'll stop the clock with 3:09 to go. All Sam Houston State here in the second half as they have scored 49 points to blow this game open. 3:09 left here in the season opener at Johnson Coliseum. Sam Houston State going to be 1-0 as they head to the road for the first time on Friday, when they will take on Mississippi State in Starkville.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Jason Hooten's going to look at here, certainly obviously the score is what it is, but it's the effort I think that he's going to like, that he's seen. Guys, I mean, we saw it just the last possession down here, bodies hitting the floor, diving for loose balls, even though you're up by this margin. The guys are still scrapping.
Yeah, they're not letting off the gas pedal. That's what you got to do. Inbounds comes. The shot by Ashik is good from 2 points. It's his first 2-point field goal of the night.
Yeah, he was really feeling it in the first half.
From long range. Under 3 to play now. Going to get an offensive foul on the pass off. I think they're going to call on Xavier Bryant. his third personal. Both teams in the double bonus for this final 2:52, if we have free throws. Jeremiah Wiley, hounded by Bryant near the half-court stripe. Goes in the corner for Stearns. A Sheik with a step-back two-pointer. Barely got iron, but a closeout foul, I think, on Johnson. 2 free throws coming up from Mateo Ashik.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see it's getting a little sloppy.
Yep.
A little bit of extra contact. Whistles are starting to come a little bit more here towards the end.
Just reached in, didn't go for, went for ball as opposed to just put the hand in the guy's face for the shot. Ashik makes the free throw. He's 5 for 5 from the line. This one could give him 20 points in the ball game. And does. So he's got 20 of their 51. Under 2.5 left now. As Jones attacks the front court. Leaves it on the wing for Thomas. Jones again toward the right corner, around a screen as he comes back out. Now Tico Ninko. Fall away 15-footer, nice shot.
Oh.
With good defense on him.
Hand in the face.
But at 6'10", he's got those long arms, and even though the hand's in his face, he can get over the top of that. Nice execution on that one. Under 2 minutes to play now. And Ashik with a two-pointer. He's up to 22, 93-53. 1:45 left. Johnson for Thomas. Here's Tico Ninko. Reverse, they're going to call for a travel though. Boy, I thought he might have kept that 1 foot steady, but I guess not.
Yeah, I'd like to see that again.
I thought it was a pretty good move.
Kind of had a little smile at the official, like he thought he had gotten it.
Here's the Sheik. Driving, put it up with the left hand, no good, and he'll go to the line. Let's get one more look here. I don't know. There was a little bunny hop as he was planning it for the pivot foot. Once he got it planted, it was all right, but it was a little hop at the start, and maybe the official's call was right after all. Sheik with the free throw. He now has 23. Transferred in from UTSA, so he's used to playing this caliber of competition for sure. Coming from a Conference USA school. Now with 24 points in the ball game. Not quite half of the Paul Quinn output. See if we can get 1 or 2 more good offensive plays executed here offensively in this final minute to play. Thomas back outside for Jones. Jones underneath, in the corner for Thomas. The three in and out, no good. That was a good, well-executed play. The shot just didn't fall. Ashik for three, short. 45 seconds left. Can't quite take it all the way down. 15-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Come on, guys, one more well-executed play. Johnson for Tico Ninko. Underneath, left hand will get it to go.
I don't know if you're going to call that
that wasn't great executed, no.
But the end
But it was the finish. And suddenly he's got 14 points in the game. Cruz almost lost it. 3-ball from Stearns is no good. Backdoor rebound for Wiley, trying to go back up, almost had it taken away. This one was blocked going up, but I think Johnson's going to get another foul. Yep. Jeremiah Wiley, a 6'3" guard from Carrollton, Texas, from Wenatchee Community College. Gets himself on the score sheet with that free throw right there. 95-55. 53 points for the Bearcats here in the second half. compared to
nice
16.
Things, Jason Hooten will be able to look at a lot of positives, but there's a lot he's
a
going to
lot
be
of
able to
teachable
take
moments
with this as well. And you've got 3 days now to turn around for Mississippi State. There's going to be a lot of things he's going to be sit there and say, guys, we need to clean some of this stuff up. I like what you did here, but there's still some things we need to work on.
A big finish for your Sam Houston State Bearcats.